As long as the money stress and it's taking away and you have to now work 60 hours a week, every single week, it's taking you away from your children, your family, your loved ones. It's taking you away from the things that you love to do. It's taking you away from traveling. It's taking you away from all of these things that you actually want to achieve because you need to do this just to survive. Salute. Are you a human being? The answer to that question may surprise you. Let's unpack it. Most of us are experiencing life as humans. However, there are different phases that we are focusing on. You think that you want to be rich. And to be rich, you need to have this nice house, nice car, nice job, good income, living a lavish lifestyle. You're focusing on getting those things and having those things. What's most important? Those things are a byproduct of something else. And that is, what do you do? What are you doing? When you're doing things, it's going to cause you to have things or not have things. In essence, what you do should be more of the focus rather than what you have. If you understand what I'm saying. What you do is going to produce some type of result. So you should focus on what you do, right? Not necessarily. What you do is going to be dictated by who you are on the inside. See, everything that we get that's on the outside starts on the inside. Every single thing that you see, that you can touch, it started in somebody's inside. They had a vision inside of them and brought that to fruition. Everything that we see that is not of nature, everything that man has created or woman has created is this way. It started inside somebody's mind and they made it come to fruition. Now we all see and experience that thing that was inside of someone else. When you go out and focus on having this, you're going to try to do this to have this. But actually, what you should be focusing on is, what are you being? I was a trainer for 20 years. One of my biggest things is, if you are that, you don't have to show people that you're that because you are that. People try to pretend to be something. And it shows because you're working so hard to try to prove to everybody that you're this thing. But the people that are this thing never try to prove to people that they are that thing. They just are. And everyone else says, yes, they're that. That's what they are. That's because they know what's in you. When you go out and you want to become something, you got to put that inside of you. You can't do something and think that that's going to happen because your mind will say, we're not in accord with what we are, who we are. And it will reject it. And you won't have those things from what you're doing. You will sense failure. And since your mind says we aren't that, and now that we fail, that solidifies that we are not that. And then you feel like you failed and you go back to what you are on the inside. It is very important that we all realize this. This is how the world works. The human body works. You must become something inside of you before things on the outside of you will change. What you think is rich is a human having. They have a lot of money. They have luxuries. they have all of these things. That's a human having. So it's a byproduct. Then we're talking about a human doing. So when you're a human and you're just doing things, you become a human doing. I'm a firm believer of repetition helps create what you become as well. So, the fake it till you make it. If you fake it long enough, if you're not a workout guy on the inside or a workout girl person on the inside, you can fake it by working out consistently as if you were a workout person for the next 3 years. Guess what you will start being? You will be a workout person eventually. You're doing it. However, if you don't continuously do it, because during your time working out, there will be ups and downs and there will be failures, so to speak, within that. And if you are not committed to faking this long enough, those failures will force you to go back into your comfort zone. That is a human doing. What we need to focus on is actually being a human being. I'm living. I am being what I intend to be. If I wanted to be a workout guy, I would actually understand everything that it entails and say, those bracelets that they used to have, the "What Would Jesus Do" bracelets? Think of it that way. What would insert whoever is the person that you will be trying to be? What would they do? You have to understand how they see the world. What are their motivations? And make those your motivations. See the world in that way. You are, in essence, becoming what they are. We're all different. However, when we're doing things and we're moving around, we get boggled up by the havings. The havings are, like I said, a byproduct from what you're doing. But what you're doing is also a byproduct of what you're being, who you are. So your money problems that you have, they're not from having too much money. I used to be a financial advisor. And that woke me up to the fact that there are a lot of people making a lot of money, but still struggling with money. I've seen people making hundreds of thousands of dollars and basically living month to month. Like if they didn't get a paycheck for a month, their life is in shambles. So at that point, I realized that it's not how much you actually make that determines if you're wealthy. And wealth in and of itself isn't about money. Being rich is about money. Being wealthy is not. It's more about time and freedom. That's more wealth. Your money problems are something from the inside. Let me give you another example of this. Can you make $200,000 this year? In 2025, can you make $200,000? You may say, I believe I can. Here's the thing. Most of you that just said that don't believe you can. And I'll prove it to you. If I said that same thing, I said, in 2025, would you make $1,000? You're going to say, absolutely. And if I also said, for every $1,000 you make in 2025, we're going to sign a contract. I'm going to give you 50,000 for every 1,000 you make. Do you think that you will try to make 1,000 or 10,000 or 50,000? No, you're going to start making plans for having hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, because you're like, I know I'm going to make at least 30,000. There's no way I'm not. And even if you don't have a job right now or an income right now, you're like, I'm just going to fill out applications. I'm going to work as much overtime as I can at those places. I don't know where it's going to come from yet, but I still know that I can do that. That's the belief I'm talking about. So when you're talking about, I believe I can make 200,000 this year, You don't really think. You think that you will try, and you can see that there's a possibility that if this works out this way, it will. But in actuality, the being that you are, if you've never made 100,000, will not allow you to make 200 in a year. Because soon as things start going left, you're going to resort back to what's comfortable. You're going to resort back to, I got to pay these bills. This came up. And you're not going to actively search for the alternative to that so that you can make that. That is just how we work. I'm trying to help you understand that before you're going to make that 200,000 or that 100,000, you have to be the person that looks at 100,000 and 200,000 as a simple task. Whether you know where the money is going to come from or not, you know you have the ability to do it. And you know that all it's going to take is for you to actively seek out those opportunities and put them into play, and you will get it. See, that's the difference from thinking you can do something and knowing you're going to do something. And when you decide to do something, you have to make a decision. I used to have a saying, burn all the ships. I like the warriors of back in the day when they used to, you have war, they would come on ships, like Achilles in Troy. They get there and we're going to burn all the ships. So either we're going to take over this land or we're going to die because we can't retreat. There's no other option. We have to do this. And we have to figure out how to get this done. If you can do that with your life, with the important things in your life, you will find that you will be a lot more successful in life. I don't know what your determination of success is, but whatever that is, you will be more successful if you start looking at things in that way. Focus on being the type of person that would just naturally do the things that need to be done to achieve and have the things that you want to have. If you're not rich, if you've never been rich, you don't come from money, you don't know what it's like to have money. And you don't know what challenges people that have money have. We always just assume that people that have money have it easier. There's a current state that we're in, everyone. And then there's a desired state that everyone wants to be in. So whether this is I'm poor and I want to be rich, or I'm worth 10 million and I want to be worth 100 million, there's still that gap. You think that because they have 10 million that they don't have problems, or that their problems aren't as big as yours or as stressful as yours. They just have different problems. People with money just have different problems. They still have problems. You just don't understand that because you don't have money. When you get money, you'll be like, hey, I'm not starving anymore, and I'm not homeless, but at the same time, I never thought I had this issue. I never thought I had that issue. And then that's where depression comes in, because you thought money would solve all your problems, and now you got money, and then it didn't. Now you're realizing I still have to be a problem solver. So this information is very important to you because of that factor. Once you understand that, then you get to that level when you say, all right, now I'm wealthy. That desired state becomes here a current state. You're going to have another desired state from there. You see how we just constantly walking up steps? That's the human being experience, because you're going to be something. You have to be greater, be better. I always told men that I worked with to not pray for God or the Creator or whoever you serve to take away your problems. You pray for them to make you strong enough to deal with those problems. Because now that those problems are no more, if I'm strong enough to deal with it, every problem on the level or beneath that level, I'm strong enough to deal with. If he takes away those problems, if they arise again, he'll have to take them away again because you're not strong enough to deal with it. So become better, become stronger. If you do that, you will become a better human being. Money is a serious issue, and I think it's so important that I'm going to focus most of this talking about it, because majority of the people that I walk around and see have that as their primary issue in life. And until you no longer have to worry about money, when you no longer have to worry about money, now you're more free to do the things that you're actually capable of doing to help this world. As long as the money stress and it's taking away, and you have to now work 60 hours a week, every single week, it's taking you away from your children, your family, your loved ones. It's taking you away from the things that you love to do. It's taking you away from traveling. It's taking you away from all of these things that you actually want to achieve, because you need to do this just to survive. As long as that's the case, you will never be truly happy. And I think that it was a design, that's a mishap of religion, of saying and making people believe that being rich is wrong. Rich people are bad people. That is not true. There are good people and there are bad people. There are rich people, there are poor people. There's good and bad poor people, there's good and bad rich people. That's just the reality. We have to stop the division of rich means bad, because now we have an idea implanted in us that if I was rich, it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of the needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven type idealism. If we have that and keep that, now we don't inherently want to actually become rich, and we start making excuses to stay poor. But you serve a creator of abundance. I always ask that, like, why do people think that God doesn't want us to be rich? Because don't you think if more of his people were rich, there would be more people helping out people that need help? It just would make sense, right? Why would God want to keep all of his people poor? Think about that. Your being is going to cause you to do what you're doing, is going to cause you to have, and ultimately fulfillment, and ultimately serving your purpose, whatever that is. Right now, you may think that you want to do something. You get to another level in life and realize, oh, that's not the best thing for me to do. Like I said, I was a trainer for 20 years, and I love helping people. You see the joy on someone's face when they go from this to this. It makes you feel good. My thing is, how can I give that to the most amount of people? Hence this. Changing someone's life, changing someone's family, starting on the inside. You may not have the time, but you may pass that time on to your children. Something that may have taken you till you were the age of 30 to learn, you can now pass that on to your children at the age of 8. Now they're starting from where you was at mentally at 30, they're at 8 there. By the time they're 30, where can they take that? See, this is how we build legacy. This is how we live on. Legacy isn't just about money. Your mindset and who you be, the human being that you are, is your legacy. Yeah, you can leave billions of dollars, but nobody there is the person you are. So that money will carry on, but it will be meaningless in the end. When you implant seeds, you live on, and they take those seeds that you planted in them and they build on that seed through the seed that you planted. Now they grow and they plant that seed in, and they live on. That also means you live on. And the seed that was implanted in you from wherever it was implanted from lives on. Stop focusing on having. Start being the person that has that. Start within. Most people walking around now are not human beings. They're not the human beings that they desire to be. They're not going to become that because they don't even realize that it's the being that's their problem. They think it's the doing and the having. And they're trying to do those things and have those things without being that thing. If I make any sense, or maybe I don't make any sense. If you got anything from this video, or if you have anything that you want to say about my comments, maybe you already knew it and this was not for you. You need to let it fly. But most people that I see, this applies to them. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Make a comment in the comment section to let me know what you like to know about. So like, subscribe, share this with somebody that may need this information. Until the next video, salute.
Yeah, that's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying.